Hello everyone, I'm River Fox and welcome to the channel. And this is the Twine Peaks Storm Shield Defense number 10 solo with no shooting, no trap replacement and 0 damage to the amplifier. So what I'm going to do, I'll do the same as I did with my Storm Shield Defense number 9. I will have the gameplay playing in the background and I'm going to get rid of my webcam and frame and everything now, and I will take you through the builds and the changes that I made to make this pretty much AFK. So without further ado, let's get straight in there now and let's do Twine Peaks Storm Shield Defense number 10. Okay then, so this is my Twine Peaks Storm Shield defenses. Now, if you haven't been following the rest of my builds for this, then do check out in the description down below. There will be a link to the playlist for the Twine Peaks missions, and that will cover all of my Twine Peaks Storm Shield defenses and my endurance builds from my main account as well. So for this Storm Shield Defense then, number 10, now it will start off at the home amplifier, which will either come from the east over there, or they will come from the north here. Now, for the north, I haven't made very much changes to my last Storm Shield defenses. I did make some slight changes to this. If you did follow my builds, then I did build a Bridge of Eternity, which I did have set up over here, which was absolutely awesome and fun, but it wasn't really that practical. It did take up far too many structures and used up too much metal, so I did make some changes. So what I have got set up now then, we have not shifted the lava ball. Actually, let me just get a different weapon out here. Okay, so we haven't shifted the lava ball. It will still go in this place over here. This is literally just a block off just to prevent them from wanting to go around this side, and all this is just wall pieces with some edited floors underneath and some backward ramps then just to block it off, and surrounded then by walls all the way round. Behind that over here we have got an extra wall piece and backward ramp here as well. And just in case any did decide to take this long route round, I have got just this small bit of block off here just to prevent anything getting around. Now I'm not going to go through the full build on this because there will be a separate video which will cover this, each and every piece that you need to place. But this is literally just block off all the way along through here. And if I just get over to this spot, this is where the base will be placed. And under here, we do literally have just a edited cone into a ramp. We've got edited floor pieces going all the way across, and we have got some wooden some wooden wall spikes on behind that, and behind all of the pieces, the wall pieces along here, just to give it that extra strength. They won't do any damage, they won't cause any damage to the husks, so they're not really very powerful wall spikes. They are just literally there to strengthen the structures. So this is the lobber shield, which, to be honest, it didn't really get used at all, but it's always a good idea to have some form of lobber shield just in case you do get any lobbers or flingers coming along. So majority are going to spawn over at this point around here somewhere. They can go anywhere along here. You will also get some spawn on there, and you will get some spawning down here as well around this spot. So they will all be heading towards this main area. And it's literally, we just have some floor launchers here which are going to be flinging them back and forth over to this side, and we've got some over there which will fling them back over here. So majority are just going to go back and forth, a bit like a tennis match in here, which does brilliant. We have got then the broadsides on these two walls and these two walls over here, which again are going to be bouncing back and forth. We're going to leave this one blank, and the same on the other end, because they will be aiming mainly at these three walls here. So we do have wall launchers on here, which is either going to fling them up to that point there, or it will fling them all the way down here, which, as you've probably seen, there is a lava ball which does hit down there, and sometimes can, there we are, sometimes can take them out in the process. And we've got a couple of broadsides set down here as well for any that do come up from here. So, and up on the top then we've got our ceiling drop traps, which do absolutely awesome damage. So that is our defenses from the north. Now there's nothing fancy defenses for the home base, because literally they will only spawn at the home base the once for the first round, and it is an elimination round. You will have to kill 800 husks on the first round. So although there are not a great deal of traps over there, and it will take quite a while for them to actually kill off the 800 husks, and the same for here, but I wanted to use more traps elsewhere where we were going to get more problems than using them all down here. So for this now, majority of this is exactly the same as my endurance build. The only difference is I have taken off a row of block off from here, only because for some weird reason I would come into my storm shield even before anything had activated or gone on, and two structures along here kept disappearing every single time I come in, regardless of what I'd done beforehand. So I decided just to take them all out and just leave it over there. It will be, I think it's 2 rows, is it? Let's have a look. Yes, it's just a row of walls. We have some backward stairs and another set of walls behind that. So that is that. Now up the top here, this is just some lobber shield, and sometimes you can get the occasional spawn up there, so that is just to block that, to make them basically come down this way if they do, but I've never had any problems there. I did add in a couple of ceiling drop traps up here just to catch any that might be coming around this direction. And we got 2 wall launchers on there just in case they decided to break in through there, but we didn't have any problems with that. So majority will be coming up this direction. So what they will do is they will head across here with our edited wall pieces here, which is going to make sure they stay on the left hand side. And of course they will be hit by these wall launchers and our wooden floor spikes as well, which is going to be giving them not massive damage, but they will give them some constant damage, and as they have 314 uses, then it's going to work over time. So they will get hit by these launchers basically into this big broadside square. That is all I can really call it. It is just a big square, and we got the wooden floor spikes on the floor, which of course will be giving them additional damage again, but all of the broadsides will be bouncing back and forth and take majority of them out. Now if they do get any further up over here, then they will come up this ramp, more wooden spikes here, and more launchers here as well. Now these are going to launch them down into this big pit down here, and we've got 3 broadsides and loads of wooden spikes down here, because wherever they land around this spot, they will then have to be walking over all of these traps, taking constant damage as they go. If they make it up this far, then generally they just get chucked straight back into that pit again. I haven't had anything really make it up this far. I think this is probably the furthest that I have had in any of the storm shields that I've run. And yeah, they tend to only really make it to this point. If they do, they are taking damage from the ceiling electric fields as well, and they just get lobbed straight down there. So there's no problems whatsoever. The only reason these actual structures are here is just to make sure that nothing can actually get a direct view to our main amplifier. So that is our home base from the north and the east. Now, wave 2 of the storm shield is going to be for this amplifier B, and it will always be from the north. Now, this build here, apart from the odd trap, which I will show you, is exactly the same as the endurance build. Now, they will be spawning from around this spot down here, and we will have some on this spot, and we will have some up here as well. Now, this one is a 5-minute round, so it doesn't matter how many husks you kill or don't kill, it will just last for 5 minutes. So I'm not going to go through the entire build, because this is pretty much identical to the build for the endurance, so there will be a video in the Twine Peaks playlist which will cover it. Now, the only thing that I have done, I did place in some wooden floor spikes here and a couple along this point as well, and I did put a few launchers and things up because I was getting a lot of problems with lobbers trying to stand at this point down here to lob up at the shield, and also at this point around here trying to lob as well, anywhere around here. So we have got just a sound wall here, which literally is just to sort of cause them to dance for a little bit, and as they dance they tend to move, so they will either sort of go back down there or head up this way, take damage and get hit by launchers. So it's really just to prevent the lobbers from standing in any spot for too long, because I was getting some big problems that they were all bunching up in certain places and literally just, you know, lobbing up at certain tiles and destroying them. So we just placed all of these little bits just around, just to stop them basically from standing at any one spot. We got a broadside on this side, and on this side we just got some wall lights just to stun them. And over here we have 2 launchers and some wooden spikes, literally just to prevent them from stopping here, because this was another spot that they would like to stand, and it was always this piece. They would always aim at that one piece there, and I think it was that one over there as well. It was 2 pieces along the top that they would aim at. So that is pretty much the only changes I have made to the main build for the endurance for Amplifier B. So we are going to get over now to the next one, which is Amplifier A, and this will be for wave 3. Now, for wave 3, you will have to kill 1,000 husks, and in those 1,000 husks you will have anywhere between 3 and 4 smashers, which can be annoying. So I have made a few changes from the endurance build for this. Normally on the endurance build my wall would be along this point here. So what I did do is I did take that wall back one more square, just to give us that little extra structures, basically, because I have had to borrow a lot of structures from other builds like this one over here, the beach amp. I literally had to take all of my lobber shield down just to be able to get structures. So we did take the wall back one place. I took out all of the sloping roof pieces apart from this one here, just for any lobbers that would try and stand over at these points. It would catch any of their lobs that they chuck from there. So other than that, if we get down here, now I'll just go back to this point. Because the wall was here before, what I have done is, not in that one, is it this one? Yes, I can't edit it now because I've actually got structures in it. In fact, I got structures on there as well. So give me a second. Where is it? Okay, we can get in through here. Right, what I did put in here is I did put in a few sort of gas traps and some broadsides and launchers along these two rows, because I was getting at this point a lot of the smashers were tending to smash through from the other side of this, which we'll go to in a moment, and in the process of doing that, making their way around the tunnels to come out and up here, then they were bashing at the traps and the walls, causing the husks to get through. So just to make sure if anything got through either this row or this row along here, I have got underneath, literally in each box, we have just got a gas trap, a broadside and a launcher to fling them back out of the box. So if they do break through, then they've then got to go through this one and this one before they can go through this one before they can get out. So it did help to slow them down quite a lot. So let's get round to the other side. Okay, now for this one then, there is a lava ball which does appear there. And they will spawn mainly around this area along here. You will get the odd one which will spawn down here as well, and there is another lava ball which will appear down there too. So what I did do, I did put a couple of wooden floor spikes here just for any of, again, of the lobbers that tended to sort of stand at these points. They would like to stand along at these points, sort of lobbing up at our traps. So I place these down just to stop them from lingering there. We do have quite a few broadsides placed all the way along here because they will be spawning at this point. Now I know some of these literally they would just be flinging all the way over there. But they will be causing some damage. But the back ones will literally be going back and forth along here, and the same for the front ones, they will be coming back along here too. And I have placed up loads and loads of ceiling drop traps here as well. I got rid of the original ceiling that we did have, and I placed this one then just a little bit lower down with a lot more ceiling traps on it, just to practically kill them all off at the spawn, because with 1,000 husks it is going to take quite a bit of time to actually get all of the husks out of the way. And with this build, the good thing with this build is, although it won't be quite instant, the smashers, when they spawn, they will come up along here. Now they will initially try to bash at these walls, but that's why we've got the gas traps on the ceiling and we have the tar pits on the floor. So they will get stuck on the tar pits and they will take constant damage all the while they are in the one place. And because of that, they tend to sort of make their way around, and they will come around this way and head out through here. Now, with the rest of the husks is not too much of a problem, because literally if they make it up this point, they just get flung back down there, they get hit by the ceiling traps, and they have to make their way back up and keep going that way. We do have a few broadsides up here as well, just for some extra damage, just to kill them all off as quickly as we can. Now, for any that do spawn along this way, they will come in through this point, so they will go into this big box with more broadsides in here, which are going to be bouncing back and forth everywhere and take majority out. And of course we have our ceiling drop traps up above as well. If they do make it up here, then they will get flung by this launcher, which will fling them back out there. Now, you can get some that will sneak and come around this way, but majority of them will actually go in through there. I didn't want to place any walls along here, otherwise it may affect any from the launchers. So if they get up far enough, then there's another launcher here, which is going to launch them back out again. If they get up here, another one is going to fling them straight back down into that. And if they make it up far enough up here, we do have some wall lights here just to stun them, which for smaller husks, pretty much the wall lights are going to stun them enough to fall into this this big pit here. Or if it doesn't, then the launcher here is going to fling them into that as well. And we do have a tire trap, which is going to be rolling all the way down here and all the way down to the broadside over there. If they make it up far enough, which I never have with any husks, then there is another launcher here. Now that both of those launchers launch them into this pit, which we have some more launchers to fling over here and another one to fling them over there, and two literally to fling them out of the pit. And anything that does manage to survive and stay in here will get hit by all of the broadsides going back and forth. And of course we have our ceiling drop traps up above, and we have some freeze traps and some tar pits as well. Mixture of the two, because you can get some elemental husks in this one, so at least having the two different ones will hopefully stop them. And pretty much no husk gets through here. The only thing that will is the smashers, which we don't mind whatsoever. In fact, we want the smashers to come up here, because all the while they're up here, what they will do is they will head first of all to this point here. Now I will be standing over on that square on the smasher bridge, and when you do see the smashers first come out, it is probably a good idea just to walk forward a little bit on the actual smasher bridge. If I can get up there, walk probably to around about here, just so that the smashers can see you, because if you do stay all the way over at this point, then sometimes the smashers won't see you, and what they will do is they will linger then at that spot, just sort of rocking back and forth. And if they still don't see you or see anything that they can charge for, then they will stop then at this point, and they will literally despawn and respawn over there. And you don't want to be keeping the smashers down there. You want them up here where they are out of the way of all of the builds, and that way you have got more chance then of all of the other husks getting killed and destroyed. Now you'll see from the actual gameplay in the background of it. Now as long as you are at along sort of around about this point, you know, around here, so they can see you, then they may drop down and they may then come up and go up this ramp here, or they literally may just sort of, you know, head over this direction. So I did add in one extra tar pit here, just for whenever they do come up this point, then as soon as they do get to the top, they literally stand on this point, they turn around in this direction, and will get frozen there for a few seconds. So of course when they do freeze, unfreeze and start heading over here, then they will always head on the left hand side of this because of our edited wall pieces here. So they will always be on the left, and the chances are this first launcher will hit them just enough to fling them off. Now they're not falling very far, but by the time they do, they come up here and they are frozen again. If they do happen to actually make it past this one and actually past this one, then they will get to this one generally, and then they will get knocked off. If they for any reason get to this second launcher and it doesn't push them off, then they will charge. Because you will be over here, they will see you and they will then charge. So sometimes they can charge through this and through this, but it's not a problem, because as long as you are standing at this point, if you ever see them get as far as that second one, then what I would do is just hold this edit like this. Make sure you do stand far enough back so that they can't hit you in the process. But as long as you sit here like this, don't place the edit, but hold that edit in place. And if you see them coming and charging and getting to this last tile, just do the edit like that. Generally they will either fall down this gap, or they may take this tile out in the process. If they do, literally just place a new one there straight away. As long as this piece here is attached to both this and this, then they will always fall down this point and they will always come straight back up this ramp. If you do have it so that this is permanently edited like that, then they will not come along this bridge. What they will do instead, let me put that back, is they will either come down here and they will start charging towards these structures, or these ones over here, which, I mean, those ones over there is not too much of a problem, but you don't want them to be destroying any structures over there. If they don't, then they may either despawn, because they get confused, they don't know where they should be going, so they will despawn and respawn down there, or they will start heading over this direction to charge at these structures. So that is one thing with the Smasher Bridge that you do need to make sure that you do actually actively keep on top of that bit. But other than that, it will work perfectly fine, as you'll see from the gameplay. Now for the next wave, which is wave 4, now this one will be over at the pit amplifier, which is this one over here. And I do have all these bounce pads just to get me around quickly. Now let's have a look. Place that there for a second. Now this is where I will be placing the base, so that is why that square is like that. And let's get rid of that. Okay, so let's get round here. Now for this one then, they will be spawning around this spot here mainly, with the occasional one around this spot too. You will have a lava ball which appears here. Okay, now this I did set up all of the ceiling drop traps after, I think it was SSD 8, so they are pretty much the same as what they were on 8 and 9 as well. But because they will be spawning these points, then I did set up 2 broadsides here, which very occasionally they can get taken out by the spawn points, but most of the time there won't be any problem. And we do have 2 over there as well, so these will be constantly going back and forth at the spawn point, as well as all of our ceiling drop traps, which are literally going to be taking things out as they come. Now it's not as important for Storm Shield number 10 to have all of these extra traps there, because it is a 7-minute wave, so it doesn't matter how many husks you kill, then you can pretty much get rid of all of these and just go for the standard endurance build, which the video will be in the playlist down below. And with the standard build, it is a recycler, so it will be flinging them here, there and everywhere, and you can more than likely get away with that, because when it goes on, thank you, the recycler, then you will literally just have launchers and you will have tar pits to hold them down, and you will have floor launchers, and that is it pretty much. But I did add in all of these on the Storm Shield number 8 just to get through the husks quicker, because on number 8 it is an elimination round on this amplifier rather than a timed round. So I've got all these broadsides, and again all of these wooden spikes here as well, which are going to be causing them loads and loads of damage. But if you do go for the other route of the recycler instead, then pretty much the launchers fling them straight back down there, and they will make their way back up. If they get past this one, then this flings them out here, which of course we have two here, two launchers, which are going to fling them straight into the lava. Now if they do make it this point, which I got to be honest, on this one, on Storm Shield 10, they didn't even make it to this point because I had so many taken out by our ceiling traps over there. But if they do make it to this point, then we have more launchers, which again will hit against these two here and fall straight in the lava, and then it just recycles and respawns over there. So that is the pit amplifier. Now one thing I do want to mention with this, what I tend to do when this one is going, is I will normally come and sit over at this point here, so you can keep a good eye on what is going on. I have noticed as well from a few updates ago that the mist monsters, so things like your smashers, your blasters, your flingers and your lobbers, they do not take damage from the lava at this amplifier. I don't know if that is the case of all of the lava, but especially on this amplifier, if you get any smashers or flingers, then they will land in the lava, but they will literally be able to walk anywhere over that point. And you may see in the gameplay that's going on in the background that with the Storm Shield Defense number 10, I did get 3 flingers which were standing at this point, and for a moment I did kind of panic and think, oh, it's gonna fail, but they didn't manage to actually cause any damage whatsoever. They were standing at that point and they were flinging and lobbing literally all the way down to the amplifier, which is over there. Our amplifier is down here, and they were flinging their husks over, but not a single one did actually cause any damage. So I was really lucky. I mean, I was unlucky to get 3 flingers in that lava in the first place, but I was lucky that they didn't actually cause any damage. So if you're not going for the full 0 shooting defense, then you could quite easily just take them out and they would be dealt with and gone. So that is for wave 4. Now wave 5 then, which is lobbers, is for over amplifier C. So I'm going to get over there now and we'll go through the build over there. Okay, so this is amplifier C, and for round 5 you will have to kill 1,200 husks, which I got to be honest, of all of the builds on here, then this one took them out by far the quickest. Now what I tend to do with this this is part of the Lighthouse build, which is the Smasher Bridge. I have got it all set up here. Again, this is for the endurance, for when you get to your UFO waves. I will normally come either and sit at the top of this here and just keep an eye on it, or I will come and sit on this point here. It doesn't really matter. If you do get any smashers, then again they should make their way up along this point and come out of this tunnel. They will see this build here and sort of charge towards it, but they shouldn't cause any problem. And again, they will do the same. They will come up this ramp and along the Smasher Bridge. But otherwise, you can pretty much sit here and just watch. So for this one, our base is going to go on that wooden square over there. But let's get over here. Now, what I did do, again, after Storm Shield Defense number 8, I did place a few extra structures, like, of course, all of this shield here with the ceiling traps on it. Other than that, everything else in this sort of trap tunnel is all the same as the endurance build. So do check that out. That will show you everything that you need for building that. But I did add in some wooden floor spikes here because I did find that the lobbers tend to like standing at one of these 3 spots. So by constantly taking damage, they normally head in this way and they get taken out by then the broadsides and the drop traps. We got a couple more wooden floor spikes here as well, just to cause some extra damage as anything that actually makes it into this point. And yeah, and then after that, everything around here, all of this build here is exactly the same as the endurance build. So do check that out. That one will show you everything that you need in there. I did place 2 broadsides, one there and one there, because again I kept getting the annoying lobbers which would like to stand at these sort of points around here. So at least these would take them all out and we didn't get any lobbing or flinging over there. All of this lot over here is really the same as the endurance build, so that is all fine. So that is your wave 5, which should be pretty easy. To be honest, that one should go without any hitches. It as I said, it was one of the quickest waves to actually complete. It did go quite quick. So our last and final one now is going to be our Devil Amplifier. That will be the one that will be attacked last. And for this one, you will have a wave of 10 minutes. So it can be quite a long wave to do, but you will get a mixture of the smashers, flingers, lobbers, propane. It will be pretty much a mixture of everything that you will get on this one. Now, I haven't made any changes here from our defense number 9. So this is exactly the same as number 9. And the only extra pieces that I've added in are the pieces that you can see I haven't upgraded. Everything else is the same as the endurance build, so do check that out as well. I want to check if this is still working properly over here, because yes, it is. Okay, on my main account, for some unknown reason, that lava ball has shifted and it will not shift back. So I wanted to check that out and see whether it still was in the same place here, but it is. Okay, so all of this is pretty much identical to the Storm Shield Defense number 9 and the builds that I did for that. We just got a couple of tar pits on the floor. The wall launchers are the same as the endurance build. We have some gas traps up on the top to give them damage if they do get stuck in the tar pits, and we've got a broad side on the end, and of course a load of ceiling traps here because our spawn points will be around this point and down here. Now, I didn't actually get attacked from this direction on this final wave, but you may. It can either come from the west here, or it can come from over the north, which I'll go into in a second. So that should take care of majority of them from this side. If they do spawn and they come down this way, then of course we've got some broadsides here and more wooden floor spikes here, which are going to be going back and forth and getting rid of majority on that, and of course more ceiling traps up here. Everything from this point backwards is exactly the same as the endurance build, so the only extra things we've got really are the ceiling drop traps and our wooden floor spikes and our broadsides, which we've placed on the sides there. So that is from the west. So if we get over here now from the north, I think this is pretty much the same as well as number 9. The only addition again on this is a few extra tire traps along this point, because our spawn point will be around here, so it will be pretty much underneath all of these ceiling drop traps. I did get one lobber, I think it was, that managed to somehow stand somewhere around this point and did lob through this little gap, and was trying to destroy some of the structures, but didn't really cause too much problem. So yeah, the only thing on this side which is different than the endurance build is pretty much all of these tire traps which are along here. So do again check out the playlist for the actual designs and setups for the okay, I don't know why that's not in there actually. For the endurance build, that will cover pretty much all of this build around here, and everything as well. So that will cover that. So yeah, that is my build pretty much for the Twine Storm Shield Defense number 10. And as you can see from the footage, it did go extremely well. Not a single shot fired. I did have to do a tiny bit of running around a little bit later, just so I could get out of the way of the takers, which are really annoying and follow you literally everywhere. So I did run around a little bit to get away from them. But other than that, it's pretty much AFK. You place your base down there, or you place over there for that direction. And yeah, just sit down and watch it go by itself. So we had 0 damage to the amplifiers, 0 shooting to the husks, no defenders, and no trap replacement. And that was Twine Peaks Storm Shield Defense number 10 solo. Now, if for any reason the video of the actual footage hasn't quite finished, then I will let that play out so you can see the full and final run. But I hope you do find this video useful. If you do, don't forget to drop that like down below, smash and subscribe before you go, and if you turn on the notification bell, then you will always get updated of all my content when it comes out. If you do buy anything in the item store, then please consider using code RiverFox, as it will help me out a great deal. And if you get the time, do check out my Discord and Twitter accounts. The links will be in the description down below, along with that link for the Twine Peaks playlist. But I hope you have a lovely day, and until the next time, stay safe, my friends.